wherein there is only one screen. The font is also small, so things fit on the screen. I don't think you can read, right, from behind? People, you guys can read? Okay. You guys can read what's on this screen also? But people at the back cannot read this screen, right? So my goal here is, everyone's time is well used. I'll be taking 90 minutes to go through live how to create SEM campaigns. We'll try our best to get over these hurdles. Like people at the back, if you feel like you want to come in front, you want to stand for a little bit, you're more than welcome to do that. We could, but putting chairs and all may take up another 10 minutes. So if you can, but they don't know how to differentiate between a good vendor and someone who is learning and someone who will take them for a ride. So I'll try and answer all those questions. I think we have a mixed audience. Some of you all may be new to SEM, some of you all may be advanced, and some of you all may not be new, but you have not been able to get it working. So just so I understand, how many over here are advanced search engine marketing? They know all the basic stuff. If you could raise your hands. Okay, and how many of you all have at least tried SEM once? And how many of you all want to do SEM but have not started yet? Okay, so it's the majority people, but I will try and cover everyone. This is what I plan to do. I'll start with the basics, then I'll give you an account tour. It's a tour of the AdWords account. AdWords is the product that Google makes, and it is to create ads on google.com or the Google search engine. Then we'll create a search campaign. I'll talk about image ads too. Then we'll talk about conversions. An e-commerce website wants people to buy. That's a conversion. A company like an IT service provider wants leads, which they get to that contact us form, you fill it in. That's a conversion. I'll go a little into the advanced settings. I'll talk about ad approvals, which I have seen many clients get stuck on. Then we'll talk a little bit about the advanced stuff. We'll talk about keyword match types, display bidding, some advanced display stuff, and I'll give you some tips to get started. Just so we can cover this entire list. I think there are about more than 10 points here. I'll keep the pace a little fast. But you can ask me questions at any time. If it's a specific question to your one specific issue you're facing, then I would prefer to discuss it offline. I'll be around most of the day. But if it's a question that I think majority of people will benefit, we'll discuss it right away. Sounds okay?
Amit, we're not able to see the screen, so I think have to see that side. Because a lot of people this side can't.
See, if I shift that side, I'll drop the projector. I could sit, but then you will not be able to see me, you will only be able to hear me. Yeah, if I sit, it may not be that effective.
Can you raise the height of the screen?
About it. So let's say I'm a consumer and I'm looking to buy a car. I go to Google and I want to buy this car. It's the Mahindra XUV 500. So you see the search results, and this screen has two parts. There is a top part which has a background, and there's also a right screen. That's search engine marketing. Those are the ads or sponsored links. The part below and in the middle is all the search results, which is search engine optimization. Both we'll cover today. Right now we're doing the top and the right side part, search engine marketing. And what you will find here is the first natural search result, the first SEO result is a website MahindraXUV500.com. It's the exact website for that product. That the search engine automatically figures out what's the most relevant result. But there are other companies who may not naturally be the best result for that search, but they also want to appear in front of the searcher. And in this case, we have one ad, and the ad is for Carvale.com. Carvale.com is a leading Indian car website for research and asking questions and things like that. So both of them are appearing. Carvale.com is SEM, and the one below is SEO. What they've also done is, if I click on the SEM ad, it takes me to their website, but the reason I click is to show you that it doesn't take me to the home page. It takes me to the most relevant page on their website. This is very crucial for SEM. So if someone is searching for a detailed query for your relevant businesses, take them to the relevant page. Don't take them to the home page. It's more work, but that work, the results are very beneficial. I'll do a now more sophisticated search. I'll search for a Delhi flight. Here I am getting many results, and the reason I did this is to show you the variety of ads companies throw out there. This is a very advanced example. All these clients you see here have been doing SEM for 5+ years. For example, take a look at this ad, the second one. I'm going to highlight it. So this is an ad by Make My Trip. It knows how to attract buyers. So it's got a link which says special fares. The fares need not be special. Make My Trip is not an airline. They have to, sell the fare at a certain point. But these are all tips to attract the user to their website. What they've also done is they have a starting from 2400. These things also subtly influence buyers to come to your website, and that Delhi flight ticket, Make My Trip will do whatever it can so that I buy that flight ticket from them. Indigo is saying 15% discount. ClearTrip, instead of 2400, is saying 1500 off on Bangalore flights. This is in fact an irrelevant ad because someone Delhi flight for Bangalore flight is quite irrelevant. Sometimes for certain sectors, what these advanced SEM buyers also do is for a Delhi flight, they will even say Mumbai Delhi flight at 7,999. They'll print the exact price, and in my experience that leads to a lot of people clicking that ad and buying that ticket from them. But this is the other end of the spectrum.
Amit, one question. Will it identify that you are searching for Mumbai? Because you have put Delhi flight.
The question was, will it identify that the searcher is right now in Mumbai?
Yes.
It will identify that the searcher is from Maharashtra, not necessarily Mumbai. And I'll just get a little technical. It's to do with IP mapping. It tries to figure out what your IP is. But this is not a perfect science. It gets it right maybe 70% of the times, but it's not 100% accurate.
You can see Mumbai, Maharashtra there, so I think it's identified that you're in Mumbai.
No, because as I
On the left hand side, it has identified I'm from Mumbai, but don't read too much into this one example because you don't count on it to do it all the time.
Sometimes the corporate gateway says Hong Kong, it recognizes the Hong Kong IP. Like I've seen that.
Yeah, that's possible. Here is the AdWords account. Again, very basic stuff. 3 things you need to know. There is this concept of campaigns. Within a campaign, there is an ad group. And within the ad group, you have your ads, text ads, display ads. Within the ad group, you also have keywords. Keyword example, Mahindra XUV 500. What the user is trying to search for. Another example is Delhi flights. What I thought will be useful, especially to new people, is we will create a campaign then we create the ad group, then we create the text ad, we create the keyword, and while I'm creating it, you can think about how you would do it for your business. I wanted to use a few examples. So the first one I got was this event. Let's say this event wants to market itself online and it's about SEM, it's about SEO, digital marketing. It's an event in Mumbai. So how would they go about attracting users on SEM? This is the page for the event. So anyone clicking on the ad should come to this page, not to Ty's homepage. I can do a few more examples too. We'll try and do a few more. So let me throw it out to the audience. Do you have a website or a page that you would like to see? We can create an ad for that too.
Yes.
What is it?
It's an education-based program, Orins Institute.
I have the correct spelling?
ORINS Institute.
ORINS.
Institute.
Dot.
Com.
I don't promise. If we have time, we'll do it for Orange Institute too. Any one more example we can take?
We got a mobile app called Red NR. The site is rednr.com. It's for basically credit card buyers.
And this is a mobile app.
Yeah.
REDAN.
You want to advertise to internet searchers or only mobile searchers?
Internet searches.
So they're searching on the internet and you want to show them a mobile app.
Exactly. Something like this, like they're searching for credit card offers. Our app is for people who search for credit card offers. So maybe an ad targeted toward people who search for offers on their cars.
Okay, this, it's a very niche example. So give me one more example.
Here's something. I have a chocolate company, it's chocoholics.com.
Okay.
CHOCOHOLLICS.
HOLLICS.
Yeah, chocoholics.com.
Let's hope we have time for at least one. I don't think we'll have time for more. You have a question?
No, sorry. We're playing in niche that nobody's playing in. It's called the Bleach Company Garden. Bleach and swimwear retailers. So, I don't know if you want to play that.
Doubtful. Just being frank here. We won't have time for that. So, Orange Institute Books and Beyond. Do you want people to join your mailing list? We can do that as an example. Okay. And you want your people to contact you? Is that a goal?
Yeah.
First, we start with Ty. Let's create this example. So we're going to create a new campaign and it's got various options.
So you are assuming that that the people who was creating the campaign knows what exactly the keyword should be targeted to.
No, the question was, am I assuming the exact keywords to be targeted to? Let's for now not assume that. And while we go through this process, we figure out what keywords are useful. If Google can suggest what keywords I should target, so on and so forth. We will do that part.
How to create an AdWords account?
Okay. So to create an AdWords account, you need an AdWords account to get started. And creating an AdWords account is free. It is a little more complicated than, let's say, creating a Gmail account. But by itself, it's not going to be functional. After you create an AdWords account, you have to offer a payment mechanism. You can put in a credit card. That will work. For big clients who want a credit period, they don't want to pay right away. Google does give a 30-day credit period. But for that, you have to have a certain amount of spend thresholds. You don't need it at the beginning. For startups, you don't need it at all. I would say go with the credit card. The concept of SEM is there are different ways to pay for it. You can either choose to pay when someone clicks your ad. That is a very popular way. It's called cost per click. So if you click, you pay. No click, no pay. There is another method to pay for these ads, and it's called it's basically called CPM. And to avoid all the jargon, you pay for 1,000 impressions. So you can configure a campaign which says, all right, for every click, I'm ready to pay 10 rupees. Or for 1,000 impressions, even if nobody clicks, just showing the ad, I'm ready to pay, let's say, 150 rupees. Both these options are available. In the first one, cost per click, there could be multiple impressions. If nobody clicks, no pay. But the nuance is that the AdWords is a self-learning system. So if you have an ad that nobody's clicking, they're just viewing, over a few days, it will tend to be a hurdle. Your account will start slowing down, the ad delivery will start slowing down, because AdWords assume that if you have a relevant, useful ad, some people will click. And for the ones who are really new, if you're thinking about how many people should click, there is this concept called a click-through rate. So an example is if 100 people see your ad, and of the 100 people, 3 click, it's a 3% click-through rate, which is good. If out of 1,000 people, let's say 5 people click, that's a 0.5% click-through rate, which is bad. Certain clients who are mature get as high as 10% click-through rates. They are damn good at this. They probably know this better than I do.
Is there like lead conversion also available through AdWords?
There is lead conversion, more advanced, we'll get to it a little later. So I'm creating a campaign, and anyway you look at the screen, there's so much data on it, it's a little intimidating. Question?
Yeah, quick question. When you say click-through rate, obviously it depends on how good you're targeting.
Click-through rate basically says, how many, it doesn't depend on how good your targeting is. It depends definitely on how good your targeting is. And it depends on if you're selling chocolates, but your keyword is Mahindra XUV 500. So you're irrelevant targeting. But let's say if you're selling chocolates and someone searches for chocolates, but your ad is, let's say, a pastry, that's also not very relevant. And it depends on a couple of different factors. What's in the ad and what keywords they're going after.
And how does it figure out, like, out of 3 ads that are coming? So the example you took, like, for Delhi flights, there are like 3 ads. So is there also a ranking mechanism among ads?
There is a ranking mechanism. It is a complex topic, but just so you know a little bit how it works. There are different things that influence which ads will come on the top or which will come on the right. It's an obvious thing that people tend to click the ads on the top. They don't necessarily click the topmost ad. That's not true. But if there are 3 ads on the top, those are much more likely to be clicked than the ones on the side. And the biggest influencing factor, if you're going on top, is your click-through rate. People are viewing your ad, but then are they actually finding it useful enough to go to your website? There are other factors too, too complex for at least now. Question?
I want to know what are the channels besides the Google homepage where AdWords come up? Like Google.
The other channels, or basically I have an ad, Google homepage, where else? Text ads will show up on many different properties. You go over the internet and you see all these small text ads. The website is owned by that company, but the ads on that website come from Google. It can happen on any web page on the internet. The common ones are the common non-Google ones. Like you go to BSC India, you'll see a lot of financial ads over there, all coming from Google. You go to moneycontrol.com, you go to these entertainment websites. There's this company called Network 18. They have a huge portal of websites, and a good chunk of their ads come from Google. They do both. They do their own ads and they do Google ads too.
Those are like AdSense.
There is a product called AdSense, which you all in fact don't even need to know. But that's the product that takes your ad beyond just Google websites.
The question I had also was, is mobile AdWords connected to mobile also? Is it asking for
So these ads can also appear on mobile phones. They can on mobile phones, the smartphones, you can search just like you're searching on a laptop and the ad will show up. Mobile phones, the smartphones have this thing called mobile apps. And especially the free mobile apps have ads within them. That's where also your ad can appear. And you can choose. You can choose to say, I want my ad only on google.com, nothing else. You can choose, I want the entire spectrum. Some people with banners, now google.com does not show banner ads. So then you choose, I want my ads to appear on the display network, which is basically other websites. This space is okay?
Amit, one more question. So this is page 1 of the Google search. What about 2, 3, 4?
Ads will appear on every page. You go to page 2, ads will appear there too.
So is the pricing or what takes ad on page 2? Do I decide or how do that works?
So you cannot tell Google, I want my ad to come on page 2, so charge me less. It doesn't work that way. But the ads which prove more useful to users appear on page 1. The most useful ads come up on top. But that's a subjective thing, right? Who's to decide which ad is useful? So the way Google does it is it looks at which ads are being clicked.
Okay.
If you have a higher click-through rate, there is an assumption that the person reading the ad liked it and wanted to go ahead. And that gets bumped up to page 1 and eventually gets bumped up to the top slot.
And does it also depend upon the bidding rate? Like how much you bid?
It depends on a lot of factors. Having said that, for most of you all, this is too advanced too early. So I don't want to discuss, right? I can discuss these. We may not have time for this today. I can share what I know, but right now is not a good time for this. Any basic question?
Is it also applicable to Gmail ad? Gmail?
Is this, yeah, same, it applies to everywhere. Gmail, so even on websites, you may have 3 ads, but of those 3 ads, which one comes up on top, the most useful? The one with the highest click-through rate.
Yeah, as there is AdWords for Google, is a separate platform for Yahoo and Microsoft?
Yes. There are a lot of advertising platforms. I think there are over 1,000 advertising platforms on the internet. When you're talking about search, with search what happens is, which platform do you go with? Yahoo has, Bing has, there are Indian platforms. Then most people tend to go for places where most consumers are going to make their search. That's where you want to go. In India, Google has 80% search share. So while you should do Yahoo, you should do Bing, but 80% of consumers are searching on Google. This is not true for all countries. In India, it's this way.
Is the click-through rate, is the location or the source the user was clicking also taken into account in calculating the click-through rate?
So you're saying if I'm in Mumbai and I'm clicking the ad, is Mumbai...
Again and again, if I'm clicking the same ad again and again, I'm searching on Google, if I'm clicking the ad like 10 times in a day, again and again, if there are 10 set of people who are doing the same thing at 10, sitting on 10 different locations, then they are clicking 100 times on a single day.
So I think what you're asking is there click fraud? That's the main point, right? So the reality is that there is minimal click fraud. That's the way the internet works. In fact, if you take any business, there is minimal fraud in every business. Having said that, this thing has been around for, AdWords has been around for I think 9 years. And we feel, or let me not talk about Google, I've worked with other systems too. The algorithms used and the technologies used to minimize click fraud, not eliminate. have evolved over 9 years. You know, we have over 1 lakh clients all over the world. So the 1 lakh clients and the pressure of serving your client has forced this algorithm to be so good, it's minimal click fraud. So for something as basic as I decide to go and click 10 times the ad, it's not going to go through. Those clicks are not going to be accounted for. Or I decided every 1 hour I'm going to come and click the same ad, it's not going to be accounted. Those are very simple techniques that can easily be avoided. So don't worry about this basic fraud, it will not happen on Google.
What techniques other than, just broadly, what techniques other than IP-based tracking of click fraud are done? I mean, other than IP, what are these?
It's not going to help the audience right now. And many things I will not share because it's proprietary to my company. So the question was IP-based. Other than that, what other techniques? Can't share.
Cookies. Average position stands for what? At 1.2 or 1 or 21.5 which comes?
I'll get to average position, too advanced right now. Let's talk about, just so everyone benefits. I don't want this discussion to go towards the experienced users. I realize you have questions and I will try my best to answer them, but the majority of us here are still new. Campaigns I can create different types. In this case, for Thai Mobile, I'm going to create a campaign which is for search also and display also. That's the top option. He's asking me for a campaign name. I call it Thai. Search and display networks. Now there's this concept called networks. It's a very complicated name. All it says is where do you want your ad to appear or what do you want to target. So the first option is Google search, google.co.in. And below there is a checkbox for search partners. There are a lot of websites like ask.com where you can search on them, but the results are not coming from Ask. Google is powering their search feature. Those are the search partners. Then there is also the Google Display Network, and the Google Display Network could include things like DSC India, Money Control, all the Network 18 websites. There are certain advanced features like broad reach or specific reach. So what happens is on the display network, things have also become quite sophisticated. At one time, you could say that I'm Thai and anyone on a web page talking about SEM, I want to target. But that was a very simple way to do it. Now what you can do it is, you can say, alright, if someone's on a web page where Google ads are appearing and that page talks about SEM, and the page is on so-and-so domain, and the page is in English, and this user is someone that Google thinks is interested in SEM. All these combinations combined, only then show my ad, otherwise don't show it. That is possible. Right now we won't get into such complexity. It talks about different devices. I'm going with the default option of all available devices. But sometimes, let's say you have an iPad app. You want to target the people who are on an iPad and searching. If they are on an Android device, you don't really want to be targeting them.
One question. You select that network, display network and all. I mean, on what basis somebody, is there a cost factor involved? We select the display network also.
So the question is, how do I decide if I should be selecting the display network? Pros and cons. Simple thing is that do you want your ad to appear across the internet or you just want it on Google search? That's one criteria. On the display network, you have the option of a text ad and you can show a banner. But if you say, you know what, I don't have any banners, I don't want the display network, then you just stick with search. Costing wise, no. Costing right now, there will not be a different criteria. If you are saying, I want to pay per click, cost per click, that's what you pay for. If you say, I want to pay per impressions, I don't want to pay per click. So if someone sees my ad or my banner good enough, I'll pay. Then you have to choose the display network, if it's a banner.
So that the click is passed on from that side to your Google, right?
Correct. So if on a display network, the ad shows up, what happens is someone sees the ad, Then someone clicks the ad, that user is taken to your website. While that is happening in between, Google will just take a note that the click happened so and so time, all those details. That's all.
And search partners other than us, which are the other bigger ones?
No big Indian partner. In India, there are no big search partners. American ones, different search engines keep coming up. There was Quail, Coil, different verbal search engines. They wanted to use Google. So
Very fragmented, specialized ones.
specialized search engine. Yeah, Ask is probably the biggest generalist search engine. Then we also talk about locations. This is important. In this case, we took a Thai Mumbai event. It's not all that relevant for me to be targeting this ad to people in other states, because they really cannot come to this event. I can inform them, but then it's costing me money. So I would rather narrow it down to people in Maharashtra. Enter location. Let me see if this works. I'll type in Maharashtra.
In Maharashtra, it would not be possible to target maybe western suburbs of Mumbai.
Western suburbs, Mumbai targeting that, it's not possible yet.
So because like Maharashtra and or even Mumbai, suppose even somebody is staying in central suburbs, it might be a bit difficult for him to come here. So you won't click.
It might be, and that's a call you can take, but this system does not offer targeting specifically western suburbs, at least not yet. And there was an earlier question on about IP and accuracy. So you can target Mumbai. You can do that. But in my experience, and just to give you why this doesn't work accurately, and there's not much companies can do about it. So even if Google says, we're going to fix it, it's almost impossible to fix this. Because as a user, when you're coming to Google, you're coming with an IP address. And we can, from whatever we have record, we can figure out, are you from Mumbai? But even we are not sure, because this whole IP address database is corrupt. It's not like it's not 2 + 2 = 4. You could be in Mumbai, you're coming working from your office is based in US. So you will look like someone who's searching from the US.
If the guys signed up from Google Plus, then do you track that? Google Plus?
No, not yet. Question?
What is that reach? Is there a problem over there?
The reach is an estimate of how many people in this location you could be reaching out to. But this is a total estimate. If you are only specifically targeting people who search for Thai, that's a much smaller audience.
If I specify my target audience, let's say Mumbai or Maharashtra, instead of the whole country, would the bid rate would increase from 10 rupees to, let's say, 40 rupees or 50 rupees?
No. Just because you are narrowly pointing to a specific location, this particular system is not going to charge you more. So if you want to narrowly target and you're wondering that are there any negatives to it, the only negative to it is you may be missing out on relevant people. That's all. Now I specifically did not choose Mumbai because in my experience I have learned that number one, it's not very accurate. Number two, if someone from Thane wants to come to this event, I am open putting my ad in front of them, provided of course there is a second layer, they do a relevant search. If they are searching for chocolates in Thane, I am not going to be showing my ad. Then there is a bidding option, and bidding is basically you're trying to say that max to max. Now I'm giving you a very bottom line. Max to max, this is what I'll pay for a click. So let's say Thai says, I have this event, and Thai is not a for-profit, they're not here to make a lot of money. But if I just do the math, the event is going to cost me $1,200. Members get a discount. And for $1,200, I do my calculation and say, okay, for $1,200, I don't mind paying 40 rupees per click. This is just a rough math. I'm not trying to suggest this is the math you do, but I need an example to work with. So I'll say, I'll do my manual bidding. AdWords also has an option that you can say, you know what, I have 5,000 rupees to spend and I'm not really sure how to do the manual bidding, but you optimize for me. It will do the optimal bidding for you, figure out how much per click. But what happens is that for new people it's good, because you don't have to figure things out. For the advanced guys, they have figured out how to do manual bidding and even save some money in the bargain. That's again a very advanced technique, manual bidding, which the next speaker will cover. So you'll have to excuse me, this particular account that I have is not a rupee account. So it's a dollar account, that's what I have right now.
How do we choose a rupee account when we are creating an account?
When you create a new one, it gives you those, you're going to pay by credit card, and it's a default a rupee account if you're creating from India. This is a very old account, so the currency is set to dollar. And roughly 40 rupees works out to roughly $0.8, roughly. Huh? So I'll say, you know what, I'll put it at 0.8. The next question is, it's called a budget per day. So you've put 40 rupees as clicks, but at the same time, are you okay getting 10,000 clicks on the first day? Probably not, right? So you say, alright, I'll keep getting clicks, but at the most, I want to spend per day is 500 rupees. Don't read into the numbers, I'm just throwing them out. It may be very different for different businesses. 500 rupees is roughly around 10, so I'll just put 10 over here. Then I come down and I'm still creating my campaign. There is ad extensions, which is unnecessary complexity for now, so I'm going to skip this part. And I'm going to save and continue. If we have time, I'll come back to all these ad extensions, all of these things.
Excuse me, is there a way to increase the brightness? Yeah, it's very bad.
Good. Thanks for letting me. Let me try. I'm not sure. Hold on. It was set at max. Let me try. Hold on. You know this project?
Maybe we can Google search how to increase brightness from
So while they try to increase the brightness of the projector, what we've done is we've created a campaign. Think of it as just umbrellas. Inside the campaign there are ad groups. I'm going to create one ad group for this specific event, digital marketing. But TIE has 5 events a month. So they could potentially be creating 5 ad groups a month, one for each event. The ad group will contain relevant keywords. Like for this, they will contain something like Mumbai digital marketing. There is, I think, a restaurant event or a food industry event coming up. For that, there could be other keywords like Mumbai food industry or fast food or Indian fast food, Indian chart, all those different keywords. But essentially, ad group per page, ad group contains the ad and also the keyword. Did it change the brightness?
No, it didn't change much.
It didn't change much, right?
The max.
Is there a way we can minimize at least? And you're free, feel free. If you want to write notes, I discourage it though. Because it's not like something that you can't figure out from just doing a Google search. I would rather prefer that you're more involved, interactive. You're welcome to ask questions. You can ask questions or suggestions from you guys. So someone's trying to dim down the lights, right? Ad group name. This ad group name, let's say I give it digital marketing event.
This thing is more for internal record, this ad group name?
It's not for internal record, it's in fact for your record.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Just so you know, once you have, let's say you've done 10 ads, then you want to know what ad is in which ad group. You could be even doing different campaigns. Now here I need your help. So I am at the point where we are creating the ad. It's a text ad. You remember the Mahindra XUV car wale ad we saw? Then I showed you multiple of ads for Delhi flight. So right now we create an ad for this event. We want a relevant ad, something that's attractive, not visually, but content-wise. Visually, how attractive can you get? It's text. Something that will invite the user at least to learn more about the event, and if that page is valuable, they'll sign up for it. This ad that we're going to create is going to take users here. Now I can start the ad. It's got a headline, it's got a description 1, 2. So it's line 1, line 2, line 3. Then there is a display URL. And then I have to also give it a URL where the user will eventually land. The simplest part is giving the landing page URL. So what I'm going to do is, this is my page. I take this URL and I stuff this in over here. I know many people at the back cannot read, so I'm going to articulate what I'm doing right now just so you can follow on. Headline. I can give a headline like Thai Institute Knowledge Series, but I mean, let's be honest, how many people know what Thai Institute Knowledge Series is? So I'll give a more catchy headline saying that grow your business online. Alright, let's try that.
Abhi, can you scroll that up?
Yeah. That's my headline. And as you can see, as I type things, there is a side ad and a top ad that's building itself. So I can check how does it look, is it attractive enough, all of those things. Then I have to put a description, line 1. Any suggestions?
Learn from experts.
Learn from experts. So, learn from experts.
Where it's happening.
Learn from experts in Mumbai. Chalo. Description line 2. Now there are different options you can throw, and you don't have to stick to this. We're just creating an ad as a group. But what works in this line 2, which is your last line to say anything, is there is this concept called a call to action. It's a marketing concept, and you want to coax the user into doing something. There are certain things you cannot do, but a call to action would be something like register now, or sign up, or it can be like fast way to get started, book now. You're giving as much as you can to the user. So I will say fast way to start. Book now. Now there are certain things you cannot do. For example, everyone who's selling a flight with the cheapest flight, or everyone will say best content. Now you are not allowed to do these things because then all the ads will look the same. But if on the landing page you can validate that claim. So if you say voted number 1, which is fine, but then on the landing page you have to show that middle, or you have to validate yes, you were really voted number 1. Then it's allowed. If you don't have that claim, these ads, all these ads, each ad you create gets approved by a human being. It's not a machine. So when that person is approving and they see that the claim is not validated, your ad will be disapproved, which means it will not show to anyone. This ad here is pretty straightforward. I'm going to put it in the system right now. Today is a Saturday. I don't know if the ad will be approved while in the next 45 minutes. If it does, then we'll try and find it on google.com too. But I don't know if that will happen. Fastest way to book now, my display URL is mumbai.airport. TIE.org. Correct, right? I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
Have you misspelled the book by design or
No, that was unintentional. Question.
use more than one punctuation?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know exactly. But there is this restriction also on limiting punctuations, because what people do is they try to create a line full of equal to signs to create a visual attraction. Not allowed. And this is the AdWords rules. Facebook has its own rules. Yahoo, Bing, they all have their own rules.
Is it advisable to target one of your main keyword somewhere here?
Is it advisable to target your main keyword? I understood the question. How to create that keyword mapping. It is an advanced topic. It is advisable, yes, just to answer that question for you. But you don't have to worry about it right now. I have my ad created. That's one part of the ad group. Campaign, ad group, ad keyword. So I do the keyword part now. In this box, I am supposed to list the keywords that if someone searches for that keyword, show my ad. That person need not search for the exact same keyword. Give me an example. So for this event, which searcher do I want to attract? I've already said narrow it down to Maharashtra. Now in Maharashtra, if someone is searching for SEM basics, or I would not say digital marketing basics, that is someone relevant I want to attract. If someone is searching for Mumbai SEM expert, that is someone I want to attract. A big goal is you're also network, maybe find business relationships that you all can do. Can someone give me another example?
Online advertising.
Online advertising, okay.
Is there any limit on this?
No.
TIE events.
TIE events, okay.
AdWords scores.
AdWords scores.
Learn digital marketing.
Learn, I think, okay, great. We have enough. Learn digital marketing. Keywords also come in different, you're trying to match that keyword. So just for you guys to know is, if someone, like my last keyword is learn digital marketing, and someone searches for review digital marketing or learn digital marketing in Mumbai, this keyword will still match. You'll figure out it's a very relevant keyword. This is called a broad matching. You also have the options to do exact matching and phrase matching. Exact matching, let's say you all build capacitors. And capacitors have different model numbers. So in the capacitor business, when you're trying to find a supplier, it's very common, you just punch in the exact specification of the capacitor. When a company is trying to buy capacitors, this is what they normally do. So if you're a capacitor manufacturer, you want an exact match. If someone puts in this model number, then only show my ad. This is another technique. What I can do is I can also estimate search traffic here. This is not entirely accurate, it's an estimation. So it's trying to figure out, it knows that, I'm targeting Maharashtra, these are the keywords. It says on an average, this is again dollar term, so don't worry about converting it. This is, I'll get 16 to 20 clicks a day. So if I market it for 10 days, I'm getting at most 200 clicks, a little less, which means I need more keywords here.
I have a question.
What's the question?
How do you choose the most relevant keywords?
It's not easy. Like, how do you, when you're starting right now, you don't know what the most relevant keywords are. It may sound relevant in English terms, but what you really want to choose is the most performing keywords, the ones that give you the most signups. But you will know that only once the keywords have had a chance to run. I'll get into how to choose the most performing keywords soon. I'll get into that.
Can we edit our keywords after
You can update these keywords at any time. Edit, change, delete, whatever you want. Question?
What about characters? If there is a spacing space into or one word, is it to be a different keyword or it has to be regularly read?
Got. So if someone types PlayStation space 2 or they type PlayStation 2 no space, the AdWords technology will figure out it's one and the same keyword, so you don't have to do the manual work of key mapping. Don't worry about that. This is a 9-year-old system, so all these things over the last 9 years they've been figured out.
How do you direct, use a keyword to direct it to the relevant audience? For example, as I said, we do beach and swimwear. Now, if you type in the word bikini, there's 20,000 people looking for it, but now over 20,000 looking for bikinis. So I just want to know how do you direct it, how do you direct it to the relevant customer?
Got it. I'll use this example just so we all get it. So there are 20,000 people looking for bikinis. One way, if you are only shipping to India, is you can say things like bikini in India, bikini India, that's one. Another is targeting. You can say, alright, I am shipping to India, but it seems most of my buyers are from coastal areas. People in the heartlands of Madhya Pradesh are not buying bikinis from me. So you can target states. But if you say that just the keyword side, I just want to focus on the keyword piece. For bikinis, Indian bikini, you have to travel different options. I'm not entirely sure right now. But you can look at, you can put in a few keywords in there. It will cost you. This trying cost because you're going to have to see who is clicking and eventually buying. At the end of the day, people will click, which is good. But after a while, you want sales, right? That's what you're in this business for. So you have to let them click, come to your website and see which clicks and which keywords led to purchases. And that part of conversions also I'm going to cover today. So there are 20,000 people searching for bikinis, but of those 20,000, you want to focus on buyers who spend. Got. I'll do the example for that.
Does uppercase and lowercase letters
No difference.
What about the position that the keyword, the people are giving a search, right? So what is the position of the keyword? Suppose it is digital marketing. So it can be the first 2 words or it can be the 11th or 12th words. Does it depend?
No. If someone is searching for marketing digital, but my keyword is digital marketing, it will still match. Or if someone is, what the question is, if someone is searching for in Mumbai digital marketing.
Something like that is position of the keywords in a search string.
No, it will not have any material impact. And if you are wondering, should this be something I should put effort on? Don't.
What about the competition in terms of, say, for example, there are other folks also targeting digital marketing, and in over here the estimated keywords is like 1,000. But at the same time, if I am saying that I would pay only 40 cost per click, there are few other people who would be putting like 100 cost per click. So mine would not be coming in. So how do we understand the competition for each keyword?
How do we understand the competition for each keyword? See, I don't know how do you do that, honestly. But the question is, do you want to be spending your time understanding the competition for each keyword? I mean, you don't want to be doing research projects, right? I think what you want is, alright, I have people who have more money than me. How can I still appear in front of relevant buyers? It's a little hard. Having said that, there are companies who outbid everyone. So right now, India is going through an e-commerce wave and many well-funded companies will outbid anyone who wants to say buy a t-shirt online, buy a trouser online. That does not mean others cannot be there. Like when you outbid, you can make sure you're at the top. Or you can try, actually you cannot even make sure, you can try to make sure, you can attempt it. But there are other slots that you can use. So that's the technique that you could use. Don't worry, it's not just the people at the top are getting clicks. On the right hand side also people are getting clicks. But bottom line, you want to be on page 1. Page 2 is not getting so many clicks.
The same type of company, like people are doing the same type of business, they mostly
Yes.
How to ensure that other people not using or I only the on the first page?
See, people tend to use the same keywords that come to mind easily. For example, for the longest time, a very expensive keyword was cheap flights in the airline business because everyone thought cheap flights, that's what people will search for. Having said that, in the airline business, there are over, I would say, 1 lakh keywords. Cheap flights may be the most one that comes to mind. But people started doing different things. They started doing things like Chennai to Madurai flight. That's what they will search for. So what happens is different people start going towards those keywords. Now, in this Thai example, if someone is searching for company that does digital marketing, or there's someone is searching for digital marketing, that's a very common keyword. Anyone will think of that. But instead, if Thai wants to save money, they can do things like digital marketing day course or digital marketing Mumbai. Not many companies are targeting those keywords. If you want more keyword ideas and you feel the ones you've thought are very limited, this system gives you keyword ideas too. So on the right hand side, there is a box, and the box has different keyword ideas under different categories. So it's giving me certain keywords. It's giving me website optimization tips, local search optimization. But right now I want to make it even more granular. A lot of people do website optimization. So I open this suggestions under search engine marketing. Let's see what it has to me. So it's saying search engine marketing company. Search engine marketing optimization. Now I know this company thing will be very common because there are over 500 search engine marketing companies in Bombay and they're all found on this keyword. But let me try this, search engine marketing service. I'll add this. Now if I am a startup and I don't want to be paying for a search engine marketing company, what I can do is, while I add this keyword, another one came to my mind is search engine marketing freelancer. I have my keyword list. Question?
If by mistake I didn't put in a freelancer, I put only freelancer, would the Google would be judge it that I want to put a freelancer or a freelancer?
So basically you made a spelling mistake. Google is not going to try and figure out you made a spelling mistake, but it will match the correct spelling. That will take care of.
Just a query out there.
Yeah.
Regarding the AdWords, what you're saying, the various keywords which are there, there used to be various websites which can be helpful for the audience, where you can analyze various words and it used to say that this is getting clicked so many times and all. I used to do a long time back. I don't remember the website, probably you can share.
So you're talking about websites that help marketers with keywords.
I don't know, there used to be proper analysis saying that if this is the keyword, this is the number of clicks which is happening for this keyword. It's a post search, this is less search and all.
Google Trends. I think I've heard of many such websites, though I know in detail of none. So I really don't have much to comment on this.
Is it on rotation to get first page, the number of keywords, if you're looking at cost per impression or cost per click, is it on rotation? Because if there are 50 players for people who are registered with Google in particular search thing, does it come on rotation or not on that?
So it sounds like this is something you've experienced and you're wondering what happened on this rotation piece. Is it on rotation, cost per click, cost per... So I'll talk about rotation in a bit. And I'll also get back to the earlier question about bikinis, but I want buyers, not just searchers. I'll get to both of these two.
One question if I may now. Going back to your previous example of car wallet, they had specifically targeted for the XUV 500. Now, would they have gone and created many campaigns for each car, or is there a way to automate this process?
The output you want is at a minimum for each car.
Yeah.
So if you have,
different pages.
yeah, so let's say for some let's say we don't have so many cars, but let's say we have 100 cars. So you want 100 ads. 100 ads need to sit in 100 ad groups. 100 you could manually create too. But let's say if you are a Snapdeal and you are selling 1 lakh products, 1 lakh ads, you need an automated way. There is a way to do that. There is a solution. The next speaker, I'll let him discuss that.
Usually when I put an ad, my click-through rate is unknown. And where do I start from? I can't put click on where do I start?
So I think the question is initially what should I do? Broader question. You don't have a click-through rate. There is this thing called a CTR, click-through rate history. If your CTR history is good, your ad has proved value to a searcher. When you think about it, the benefit you get is for the same bid, your ad appears higher. Or if you want the ad to appear lower down, you end up paying lesser for it, for that click. But when I'm new, what Google does is it starts you at a base level, which is somewhere in the middle. It doesn't start you at the bottom, neither does it start you at the top. There is a grace period of a few days. I will not discuss those details. And then it gives you a chance. But if you are starting a new campaign in an old account, then the click-through rate of this old account historically is also taken into consideration. So, bottom line, if you're starting a new campaign, then start it in an account with a good history. If you started an account that has been marked as doing fraud, then you don't have to start that account. You can create a free account anything.
Amit, one more question. Let's say this event is happening today and I don't want this ad to appear maybe after today. So is there a time period for which I can run an ad?
So a campaign has a start date and an end date. You can tell the campaign at this date you stop running. In fact, let's do all of this. I have my campaign here. I have my keywords. Now it's trying to give me some initial feedback. This is new, right? I'm creating campaign now and I see all my keywords and it's telling me eligible. But here it's telling me low search volume. So what it's trying to tell me is Mumbai SEM expert is such a niche keyword that there are not many people searching for it. This also is not absolute. If AdWords says low search volume doesn't mean nobody's searching. It's just a guidance.
Sometimes that also converts good because only few people and genuine people are actually looking for that.
It's an excellent point. So if you have a keyword that has a low search volume, what big advertisers do is they don't bother with it. So they are not bidding on it. If someone does end up searching and your ad shows up, you're the only game in town. What I mean is you're the only ad on that page. So as a searcher, there are not much options left either. Those convert very well. By convert as in you want them to buy something or you want them to sign up, it happens very well. We had a question, I want buyers, not just bikini searches. So there is this concept called negative keywords. Now in this particular case, there is an event. There is a certain cost to the event. So if someone is searching for, let's say, free, I don't want to be marketing to them. So I go in there and I add a negative keyword, free. Now this is also, the agenda is largely about search engine marketing. Then we go into search engine optimization. But we aren't doing social much. In fact, there was a social event a few weeks ago. So another event I put, a negative I put here is social. Because it's not an event for you. You can use these to filter out definitive negatives from that big 20,000 list. I have my campaign. Someone talked about I don't want the campaign to run after the event is over. So I go to my campaign settings. there is an option to specify the end date, but I don't want to be researching on that right now. I'd rather go on. My campaign has different ads. In fact, it doesn't have different ads, it has one ad right now. You can put multiple ads too. Now, people ask me that why do you want multiple ads? Why not one ad? Because you're trying to figure out the most performing ad. What you do is, let's say you can put 3 ads in the system. At the start, AdWords will display all ads equally. But once it sees that one specific ad is being clicked more often, that's the ad that will be more prominently displayed. It'll do that for you. You don't have to manually figure things out. Question?
You added negative keyword in the AdWord level, in the ad group level. Is it there a difference that if I added negative keyword in the campaign level, what will be the difference?
So the question was, you put free and you said it's a negative for this particular ad group, but all tie events are paid. If I assume that, then what you can do is you can take that free and put it as a negative at that campaign level. So any ad groups below it will consider that as a negative, but there is no difference. You can either manually put it per ad group or put it at the campaign level. No difference of where your ad will appear, how much it will cost you, none of that.
Are you trying to say the different services has to be different ad groups or it has to be different campaigns?
Okay, so different services in different ad groups or different campaigns. I'll give you some real world examples. There is no right answer. You can choose what is best for you. Like e-commerce websites, and I know many of you all are starting those. Let's say you have a section for mobile phones and you have a section for clothes. Keep them in separate campaigns. There is a mobile phone and there is an apparel. Tie. Tie has these events. All events can be put in the same campaign. But if it so happens that all of Tie in India uses one account, then there is a Tie Mumbai, a Tie Bangalore, Tie Delhi, different campaigns. Does that answer?
Are you trying to say that the analysis of what Google gives would be per campaign? Because that's how it will help.
No. I'm not trying to say how Google will analyze these. It's very similar to say, on your personal computers, Windows, there is directories and files and there are subdirectories. You organize them based on how it makes sense to you.
When it says that, okay, this was the most performing set of keywords, would that be, and this is the most performing campaign? So that's how it will analyze the history of what happened.
The history is at different levels. So there is this ad group history, there is no campaign history, and then there is this account history.
My question is, like I have mobile apps as a content development, and I do web app development, and I do software maintenance. So whether these has to be under the same campaign or different campaign?
So there's a company and they provide mobile web apps. Then
mobile apps, native mobile apps.
Got it. So you are targeting software for mobile apps. You're also doing web apps and also custom software services. There may be a custom software maintenance also. Now these 4 things, when you really think about it, are 4 different businesses. And for this, I would recommend different campaigns. There is a reason. We talked about this daily budget, or we talked about campaign budget. So if you put them in different campaigns, you can say, I'm getting great margins from building mobile apps. This is an assumption. I'm just making the assumption here. So for that, I'm going to spend 10,000 bucks a month. But from software maintenance, the margins are not that great. I'll spend 4,000 bucks a month. So you can allocate different campaigns, different budgets. If they were all in one campaign, then all 4 would share that one campaign budget, and you will not have that flexibility then. Question here? I want to talk about conversions. This is very important. Getting clicks is in fact quite easy, but for a user to sign up to a service, they have to do certain actions on your website. All of you all soon put conversion tracking. Conversion tracking is there's a code. The code Google gives you. You copy the code, you paste it on a thank you page. A thank you page is someone filled in a form, submit. Confirmation page. Confirmation page is a thank you page. You bought an item, shopping cart, payment, review, submit. You get a confirmation page. Thank you for your purchase. That's a thank you page. When you put that code, AdWords can figure out the whole chain. What keyword, what ad was shown, the ad was clicked, eventually leading to thank you page. This helps you determine relevant keywords. There was a question, right? Relevant keywords, performing keywords. This is what will help you do that. Why do I need to know relevant keywords too? If a keyword is giving you great conversions, then you want to bid aggressively so that keyword ends up on the top spot, as many as you can get. Having said that, if there are keywords that are not converting and you spend like 5,000 bucks on those, delete them. It's irrelevant for you.
Excuse me.
Question?
Yeah. Is the tracking done historically, let's say over a period of a month or so, because the person may be searching over a period of time?
The tracking is done historically. There is a 30-day window. So if a person clicks the ad and they buy within that 30 days, the person gets tracked. If they buy beyond that 30 days, they don't get tracked. This is specific to AdWords. Different vendors have different days. Tracking also gets a little more evolved. So this is conversion tracking. Click the ad came. There's also this concept of view through. Forget the name. It's called view through conversions. But what that means is, if you have an ad on the internet, you're running it through Google AdWords display network. Google can track if the user saw the ad, did not click, but eventually convert. That also is available. It's an advanced topic.
Is this the same code as Google Analytics code?
It's not the same code. Analytics is a different product. Conversion tracking is a different product. This is JavaScript code. You don't have to make any modifications. So if you are, if you feel that do I need to be technical, you don't have to be a programmer, but it is code. So you will see JavaScript. You can copy it and maybe have someone paste it on the thank you page.
I still don't get through.
No.
Okay.
The point you said did not view, click. No, viewed but not click. Not click.
View through may not be beneficial to most people here. Let's discuss it all. We have limited time, so should I just focus on the important topics? I think I have 5 more minutes, right?
You can take another 10.
I can freely take another 10? Yeah. So we have 15 minutes. I'll just focus on the most important stuff. Many of you also said you all have tried SEM, but it's not working, it's not up and running, and there are hurdles. So I'll talk a little bit about that. One is ad approvals. It takes time for an ad to go through. Sometimes it even takes 3 days for the ad to be reviewed and approved. So if you may want, and I put in an ad I search right now, it doesn't always work. During business hours, Monday to Friday, it often happens. But like right now, I put an ad in. If I search, I don't know if I'll get it. In fact, let me try if it's working. There's no such ad which doesn't require approval. Every ad gets approved.
First time it get approved, the next time I want to get some changes. What is the content that goes without change? Without approval? I mean, just a pause or something like that.
Oh, okay. So if you change the bid, let's say you say, alright, I'm bidding 40 rupees and I want to bring it down to 30 rupees, that requires no approval. If you add keywords, no approval. But if you change the ad, the text in the ad, or you change the image, it goes through another approval. Give me 1 second before the question. I just want to see if an ad is showing up. So let me try this.
The more search function.
So you see our ad came up here. It says grow your business online. It's got the URL. This is what it eventually looks like. Now I'm going to click this ad and let's see what it does.
Was on the bottom, not on the top. Why was it?
The question was why was the ad at the bottom? Top ads are only for efficient ads which have high click-through rates. You almost never will start at the top. This sort of completes the loop, created the ad, and 45 minutes it took, and now it's up and running. You can do this for your ads too. Now let's say this ad runs for 3 days, and after 3 days I see 5 conversions. It's not effective, right? I'm spending money, then I make changes to the ad. One change I can do is I change the keywords. There is a keyword tool. A lot of people, beyond the first 10 keywords, it becomes challenging. How do I find those performing keywords? They make sense to me, but they're not working. So we have a keyword tool that you can use, and it gives out too many keywords. You don't need so many, but it's a good starting point to pick and choose which ones you can use. There are 2 ways to use this keyword tool. One is you can say, alright, I'll give you certain suggestions and then you expand. You give me some more results. Or another pretty smart way is I will give you a URL. The URL has content and you figure out what that content is and then you come back to me with suggestions. So we do that.
One question.
What's the question?
This is this ad you have faced cost per click thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, the same thing has to be created for cost per impression. Is it possible? So this will be more relevant and more cost effective.
It is possible.
And the click is immediately recorded and shown.
It's not immediately recorded and shown. There is a time.
You have cost per click model, right? Now,
So if I use I think what you're saying is, will I save money?
will I save money? Will it be more reach? In terms of with the cost per click, I'm restricting again at 40 rupees per click. And if my budget is 500 rupees, that means I may touch base around 12 people in a day. Right? I will do a cost per impression thing. Will I touch base to more people? Will I give away my information to more number of people?
Everyone understood the question? Let me repeat. It's a good question. So there is cost per click, and in this example, I'll say I'll pay 40 rupees per click, and I'm going to give you 500 rupees for the day. Instead, if I had said I'll do cost per, give me 1,000 impressions, and I'll pay 150 rupees for that. The first question is, we'll have to try, I don't know. Google may come back and say that in 150 rupees we cannot deliver 1,000 impressions. But if you want 1,000 impressions, you change it to 250 rupees. It will give you a suggestion too. Now think about this. What you are buying is 1,000 impressions for 250, or in this example, let's assume you're buying 10 clicks at 40 for 400 rupees. Those 1,000 impressions may lead to only 2 clicks. They may lead to 20 clicks. You don't know.
But the CTS will tell us, right? I mean, what is the going rate for the historic data of it? Can you give us a picture of what is the cost-effective model for us?
The CTRs will tell you that only once it's run for a few days, but right now you don't know. So if you have to make that decision right now, that's the question, right? After once you've gone through the history, then you can figure out what the CTRs were. So after doing an experiment, you can figure out what was most effective. That is one. If I have to make a decision right now, I'm getting very basic. So this is not for people who used this before. In cost per click also, the ad is shown. I'm just not charged for it. So when I say 40 bucks and 500 a day, the ad could be shown 2,000 times. But I am charged only when the click happened. In cost per impressions, no click would have happened, but I'll still be charged. So is the click happening and coming to my website important? If you are spreading the word. You know, like a new movie is being released in 3 weeks. You're spreading the word. Even if they don't click, it's okay, no big deal. At least they know the movie is coming up. Latest Shah Rukh Khan blockbuster. In that case, you want the impression. You need not want the click. Then cost per CPM, cost per impression makes sense. If you are selling products, you want to sell the mobile phone, you want to sell an iPhone which everyone knows about, then you want that click, right? Come to my website, see my price, and prefer, or hopefully buy it. So it depends on what you want to do.
I mean, how do I find the lowest cost per impression for my keywords or for my campaign? So if I put, let's say, $100, so will it take that, or will it suggest, no, you need to spend minimum 125 or what online when I'm creating a campaign?
It will take that. It will also make a suggestion that, you know, for this kind of impressions, if you want, you have to either recommended, this is called a recommended bid is this much. It doesn't say it's cancelled. It doesn't say that you put 100, so I'm not going to show your ads. That's not what's going on here. You could potentially show ads too at $100. But if it says, alright, I have a campaign for 3 days and I want to complete 1,000 impressions, then it'll give you a relevant figure too.
Can we try both? Can we try both the things, both the methods simultaneously? So there are 2 different ad campaigns. Like one is for the mobile phone, which you said, one for the apparel. Can we try it like simultaneously in both cases?
Okay, so if someone, you are sure you can try it simultaneously, but let me talk a little bit about that. So if you want to try it simultaneously, there are certain challenges. Like if you create 2 campaigns and you inject the same keywords in the campaign, it's not going to help you much. It's not going to increase your chances of appearing. You could try it simultaneously. On this topic, I don't even know all that much, so you could try it, but I don't know more about it.
Is there a minimum amount that one needs to bid in for? Let's suppose we are going in for keywords which are very rare in nature. So, is there a cost for Google, a minimum threshold cost to probably
There is a minimum threshold you have to bid. I think in our country, I think it's 1 rupee. You have to bid above a buck. It's 5 rupees?
For a click? No. For a click?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it should be less than 5. 5 seems a little higher to me.
No, it's less than 5. Definitely.
So there is a minimal amount you have to bid. That is for the click. So for the click, I'm willing to spend this much.
Does pausing the campaign affect the performance of the campaign?
No. When you repause it, it'll retarget those buyers.
And change in CPC?
Yeah, change in CPC will affect the campaign. It's not like if you change the CPC every day is detrimental. That's not true. But a higher CPC will get you onto page 1. A higher CPC and a higher click-through rate in the past will get you on the top slot. A lower CPC will not get you. Question?
Amit, if I choose my ad to appear on Google Partner Network, Google Display Network, will my CPC will be higher compared to if I'm choosing it to come on only on Google, because in the first place I am sharing Google is sharing the revenue sharing with the companies.
It is true. So on Google Partner Network or on the Display Network, Google with each vendor shares the cost of the click. If the cost of the click is $10, a certain amount that Google keeps and the rest goes to the vendor. I won't be discussing details of how much Google keeps. But that does not increase your costs. What increases in reality your costs is, are there other advertisers who have outbid you for cheap flights? All the advertisers want to be on that. At one point, I think for a cheap flight click, you have to pay at least $100. For something like a cheap personal loan, cheap home loan, all the banks were going after that. It was very expensive to buy a click on that keyword. So if you want to minimize costs, find obscure, obscure is too harsh. Don't go for the common keywords. There is this concept called the long tail keywords. This is a SEM specific thing. You have the head, which are the common keywords, but keywords like cheap flight from Chennai to Madurai. It's a long tail keyword, searched less frequently, in some cases infrequently, but very good performing keywords, very relevant. You had a question, sir.
The question is that cost per click and cost per impression, is there a difference in their positioning on the page? If one takes a cost per click, does it get a more advantage on a landing on the positioning of the page, or the cost per click, or if I'm able to explain?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, as a buyer, if I do CPC, will I get ahead of the other ads? No, there is no such advantage. You will not gain anything. The real advantage, what I have seen in my experience, and by real I mean like 80%, what really matters is your click-through rate. You don't have it at the start, so you are at a certain disadvantage to the people who have established a good click-through rate. You can do that too. At the start, you're somewhere in the middle of the line. That's what makes the most difference. I'm getting a few advanced questions, so I want to also ask the people new. Do you guys have questions?
Keyword rate. Sorry.
Question?
I'd like to know if, again, if you're in a niche market, does Google by default direct you to an Indian website, or does it, just pick up? For example, if you put the word food equipment, which is the market that we're in, it doesn't, our website doesn't show up. Instead, you have Decathlon, Speedo, whatever that shows up. So I just want to know, does Google pick up the fact that an Indian searcher has put in this keyword, and does it by default direct you to an Indian website?
I think you're talking more about the search engine optimization, right? You're not talking about marketer, this AdWords thing. I'm not qualified enough to answer that. I don't know.
One question. Do banner ads have a higher CTR compared to text ads? Is there some data?
Do banner ads have a higher CTR compared to text ads? So this is now we are talking display on the internet. Yeah, I think banner ads tend to have a higher CTR. CTR is a click-through rate. They get clicked more often than display, than text ads. Question?
You said that various keywords can cost a different amount. So why do you get it? Because when you typed in the keywords, the cost was not coming. So keyword. So how do you know that what will you charge?
So you want estimate charges, what this will cost me. Let me just show you the keyword tool then. So what I've done here is, in this tool, I can give it seed keywords, digital marketing, and it'll give me the result. What I've done is I've given a URL of this landing page. Let's see what keyword suggestions it comes back with. It also tells me choose a location. Different people search differently. It's chosen United States for me. I'll take that out. And I don't want all locations. I want specifically India. India, English searchers, desktop and laptop devices. Okay, I'll keep both. And I say search. So right now what it's doing is it's gone to that ties page. It's trying to understand the content on that and it's going to come back with suggestions. Okay. So give me 1 second while I adjust my screen so you can see what is going on. Alright guys, so I'm having a little challenge with the screen resolution. I walk through what's the result. The first tip it gave me is website optimization tips. The next column is competition. What this means is, are there a lot of companies bidding on this keyword? If there are a lot of companies bidding on this keyword, as a small business, don't go for it. It's too expensive. Look at competition. So what I will do right now is I will sort by competition. I only want low competition keywords. So this list is low competition keywords, and the first here is best search engine optimization techniques. My talk is only about SEM. That page was about SEM and SEO. So it's giving you these long tail keywords. It says that on this particular keyword, you can expect 210 monthly searches from India. Now I want keyword that's going to give me a lot of monthly searches, so I'm going to look through this list. I have a keyword which says 1000 monthly searches. And this is again an estimate. Let's go after that keyword. What is this keyword? SEO basics. This is the keyword, low competition.
Why the competition is low here?
I don't know. I don't know why SEO basics the competition is low. Maybe it's something that people miss out. A common finding of low competition is misspellings. People, you will be surprised, and without taking a judgment, misspellings are very common. Those are excellent keywords to go after. Like SEO, there is a P next to the O, you put SEP basics, that can give you a lot of conversions. Question?
What's considered to be a good CTR when you start?
2 to 3%.
I'm going to ask a little bit more basic. If I was, as a startup, I'm interested in doing this, or looking for a partner to do this, what would be important to you for a partner?
Okay, so for new people, you are trying to figure out a partner who can help you do this. I think what I have seen is there are many companies who will come to you as a startup and say, you know what, don't worry about the nitty-gritties. I will give you 1,000 clicks from somewhere on the internet, and for the 1,000 clicks, you pay me only 10 rupees a click. You give me 10,000 bucks, I'll give you 1,000 clicks. That's it, that's the contract. Don't go for that. Because you don't know the quality of those clicks. You will get 1,000 clicks. Go for partners who say, you know what, I would recommend go for partners who charge you a service fee. If you're getting a service, pay for it. If you're not paying for a service, then you might get shady, doubtful service. Be open to paying a service fee just to run your campaign. In those cases, the partners, they share the AdWords account with you. So you have a login and password. You can go into the AdWords account and see what the partner is doing. That I feel is a very helpful influence on getting the best out of your marketing budget.
What is the right service fee?
You could do 2 things. So, right service fee. I have not bought this service many times, so I have limited experience here. But I think 15%, 10 to 15% is appropriate. Some partners will also work with you that we will charge you per conversion. You know what I'm saying? So they will not charge you per click. They will say, all right, if you are if contact us queries for your product, for every person who signs up that form, I'll charge you 75 rupees. I think that's fair. You can work on that model too, provided it's transparent. It's not a black box.
You talked about account sharing. Will his CTR, so would I need to look at people's CTR partners, say that you have a good CTR that can be required partner?
No, the partner is not going to share all their accounts with you. But account sharing is your one account. So you have access to how many clicks are coming through that account, how many conversions are happening. With that, if you can work out an agreement with the vendor that, also a performance-based thing, that's a very good thing. If they agree to it, of course.
The URL words and the AdWords are very good. Business URL and the AdWords.
No. You can choose whatever URL you want that makes sense to you. No influence on search engine marketing.
Someone who is new to the business, if I want to take a decision, having never used this medium before, are there statistics I can access in terms of, not just successful case stories in the Indian business context, actual statistics of people who spend and what is the returns they've got?
So someone who is new to the business and you want to see real data, from my experience, that will be extremely hard to get. Because, mature clients, I can tell you 3%, 2 to 3% is a good click-through rate. For a client, they are not interested in sharing what click-through rates they are getting. Why should they share it with people? You can get case studies, but most case studies lack that authentic or raw real data. So I think it's very hard to get that data.
Amit, one quick question. Google.com versus Google.co.in, how does that matter from the Indian context?
From the Indian context, as for search engine marketing, it doesn't matter. If you have a product for NRIs search on Google.com, they don't search on co.in. But in AdWords, it doesn't even ask you want to be on .com or co, and it doesn't matter. But what happens, I have found with NRIs, is that then you are competing with people who can bid in dollars. Right now, the currency exchange is weak. That may force you to bid more aggressively. So instead of 40, you may have to bid 70, 65. That's the only difference they'll make. But otherwise, technically, no difference.
A lot of time Google gives special offers to people to start using AdWords. Is there any special offer you can give to all of us?
I can't give you a special offer for my own income, but Google has an offer. 1500 rupees credit you get. So it's not money, but you can go, it's freely available. Just search for that offer. When you start a new account, the first 1500 rupees in ad spend is on Google, the rest is on you. Last question, just so everyone gets time to speak. Last question on the back, please. And preferably, this session earlier in the morning was for beginners. So any early new person question?
Can multiple ads from a single domain work on a search?
So multiple ads from Mumbai.thai.org. No. I'm around for a little bit more. We can chat. Also, I did not intentionally answer some very advanced questions. It would not be beneficial to everyone. But the speakers coming in, maybe they will address those topics too.
That's it. What
Thank you.
local languages? Local language searches.
Guys, let's give everyone else, all the speakers, the time to talk. We can talk offline.
One important. Any resources which we can refer to learn more, some book or some maybe apart from blog.
If you want to learn more, you can buy books, but it's all on the internet. Just go to AdWords, Google. There is an extensive help site. All the information is there, and we have to put good information. And that's a signal. It's good information. It's useful stuff. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.